Have you ever found yourself staring at a task, knowing you should be doing it, but somehow unable to take the first step? It's frustrating, like being driven to succeed, yet somehow trapped in the quicksand of procrastination. You're motivated, you know what needs to be done, but the inertia of inaction drags you down, and with it comes a deep sense of guilt. It's a paradox we've all faced. The desire to act, paired with the inability to start. This cycle of procrastination often feels inescapable. You promise yourself you'll begin tomorrow, but that tomorrow never seems to come. The guilt builds, you feel stuck, and the frustration only grows. But what if there was a way out? What if there was a philosophy that could help you break free from this trap? Enter Stoic philosophy, a powerful mindset that can help you overcome procrastination and make consistent progress in your life. By using its timeless principles, you can transform the way you think about time, action, and personal responsibility. In this video, we'll explore how Stoic strategies can empower you to stop procrastinating, take action immediately, and align your actions with your values. It's time to unlock the power of Stoic thinking and start moving forward. Procrastination is a peculiar thing. You might feel a surge of motivation or ambition to complete a task, but the moment you try to get started, something inside you holds back. It's not that you don't want to do the work, it's that something prevents you from actually making the first move. Your mind creates all sorts of mental blocks: doubt, fear of failure, or a sense of being overwhelmed by the magnitude of the task. At the core of procrastination lies an internal conflict. You know you should act, yet your mind finds every excuse to avoid it. This paralysis isn't just an issue of laziness, it's a failure to act according to reason, to take control over your mind and actions. In fact, the Stoics saw procrastination as a misalignment between our desires and the rational actions that would move us toward those desires. It's a failure to act in harmony with our values. The Stoics believed that procrastination wasn't merely a bad habit, it was a deeper issue, a disconnect between what you want in life and how you behave. They understood that inaction leads to missed opportunities and wasted time, two things we can never get back. The good news is that Stoicism offers a powerful solution, making rational decisions in the present moment and taking immediate action. But how exactly can we do this? Let's dive deeper into the Stoic perspective and explore how we can use this ancient philosophy to break free from procrastination. For the Stoics, time was the most valuable resource we have. Once a moment passes, it's gone forever, and we cannot get it back. This profound understanding of time pushed the Stoics to prioritize action in the present. They saw every moment as an opportunity to align their actions with their values and goals. The concept of memento mori, the practice of remembering death, was central to this view. By keeping in mind that life is fleeting, the Stoics were reminded to act with urgency and intention, not putting off what could be done today. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most well-known Stoics, regularly reflected on the shortness of life and how we must make the most of every moment. In his meditations, he wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This reminder to live with purpose and without delay is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. Procrastination then becomes anathema to this mindset. To act with purpose and in alignment with one's values means recognizing that each passing moment is an opportunity to act, not an opportunity to delay. The Stoic practice of mindfulness of death isn't meant to cause fear or anxiety, but to motivate us to take immediate, purposeful action. When you recognize that time is limited, procrastination becomes unacceptable. Instead, you're driven to act swiftly, making the most of the time you have, and ensuring that your actions are always in line with what you truly value in life. One of the most effective strategies to overcome procrastination is to break tasks down into small, manageable actions. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when looking at a large task, It can seem insurmountable and cause you to freeze up. However, the key is to start small. Rather than aiming to complete the entire project in one go, focus on taking that very first step. It could be as simple as writing the title of your report or opening the document to begin the first sentence. Once you've taken that small step, you'll have broken the cycle of inertia and will often find that continuing is much easier than you initially thought. Epictetus, a famous Stoic philosopher, emphasized the importance of decision-making followed by action. He advised, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." In other words, decide what you want to accomplish, and then take that first action to make it a reality. It doesn't need to be a grand gesture. What matters is that you begin. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment or the ideal conditions, but simply choosing to act. Once you do, momentum starts to build. This principle of incremental action is central to Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believed that through consistent small actions, we can create meaningful change. As you make progress, no matter how minor it may seem at first, you start to develop a habit of productivity. Over time, these small actions compound, leading to larger accomplishments. Before you know it, what once felt like an insurmountable task has been broken down into manageable steps, each one propelling you forward. By focusing on the present moment and what you can do now, rather than getting bogged down in the enormity of the task ahead, you free yourself from procrastination and align with the Stoic principle of purposeful living. At the root of procrastination often lies fear. Fear of failure, fear of the unknown, or even fear of the discomfort that comes with tackling a difficult task can paralyze us into inaction. This fear manifests as resistance, an emotional block that makes us want to avoid starting the task altogether. And yet, inaction only feeds the cycle of anxiety and guilt. The Stoics had a unique way of addressing fear. They practiced premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This practice involves imagining the worst possible outcome of a situation. What could go wrong? What would happen if you failed? Rather than shying away from these thoughts, the Stoics believed in confronting them head-on. By mentally preparing for obstacles, setbacks, and discomfort, you desensitize yourself to fear and reduce its power. You realize that even if the worst-case scenario occurs, you're still capable of handling it. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, taught that the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. In other words, obstacles and discomfort are not things to be avoided. They are opportunities for growth. Instead of retreating when you feel resistance, you can embrace it as a chance to develop resilience and character. Every obstacle, no matter how difficult, is an opportunity to practice patience, focus, and persistence. The Stoic way is not about waiting for fear to vanish before taking action. It's about acting in spite of fear. The more you push through resistance, the less control fear has over you. As you continue to act despite the discomfort or fear, you build confidence and momentum. The Stoic mindset teaches that our ability to face fear and still take action is what truly defines us. Procrastination fades when we choose to move forward, even when fear is present. By practicing this daily, you become a person of action, not hesitation. Discipline and focus are at the heart of overcoming procrastination. And for the Stoics, these virtues were cultivated through daily routines and intentional living. The Stoics believed that how we spend each day shapes who we become, and they place great importance on creating structured routines to foster both discipline and mental clarity. Instead of waiting for inspiration or motivation to strike, Stoics took control of their time by building habits that kept them focused on their goals and values. One of the core principles of Stoic discipline is the idea of routine. By creating a daily structure, you minimize the mental energy spent on deciding what to do next, which helps prevent the paralyzing feeling of choice overload. Each day becomes an opportunity to take consistent, deliberate action. a routine doesn't just keep you productive. It gives your mind the space to focus on what truly matters, reducing distractions and eliminating procrastination. Epictetus, another influential Stoic, understood the power of habits. He famously said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This mastery comes from the daily practice of forming good habits and sticking to them. Epictetus emphasized the importance of repeating positive actions consistently until they become second nature. Whether it's making time for meditation, physical exercise, or simply prioritizing your work over distractions. The Stoic approach to discipline is about building habits that align with your deeper values. Additionally, the Stoics taught us to focus on what we can control. When we get overwhelmed by the outcome of our tasks or the fear of failure, procrastination creeps in. But the Stoic mindset reminds us that the only thing within our control is our effort and our actions, not the result. By focusing on giving our best effort without obsessing over what may or may not happen, we reduce the mental burden that often leads to procrastination. Each small action is a victory in itself, and the outcome is secondary to the process of doing what we set out to do. One of the most valuable Stoic practices to overcome procrastination is reflection. Taking the time to review our daily actions allows us to gain insights into where we succeeded and where we fell short. Reflecting on our habits and behaviors gives us the clarity to recognize patterns of procrastination and helps us identify areas for improvement. Marcus Aurelius, perhaps the most famous Stoic, was known for his practice of journaling. He used his journals as a space to reflect on his actions, thoughts, and behaviors. Each evening, he would review his day, assess where he acted in alignment with his values, and note where he had fallen short. This process of self-reflection allowed him to adjust his mindset and actions, ultimately helping him grow as a person and a leader. His journals were not a place for self-criticism, but for cultivating self-awareness and improvement. By regularly reflecting on your day, you can identify the moments when procrastination took hold. Did you delay starting a task because of fear? Were you distracted by external circumstances or internal resistance? Once you pinpoint these patterns, you can make conscious efforts to avoid them in the future. This daily habit of reflection and self-awareness builds momentum in your personal growth and helps you identify what works and what doesn't. Tomorrow, with greater understanding of your own tendencies, you can approach your day with a clearer mind, more focused actions, and the wisdom to act decisively. Incorporating reflection into your routine allows you to build a feedback loop where every day becomes an opportunity for progress. It's a powerful Stoic strategy to help you stay on track, overcome procrastination, and make meaningful progress toward your goals. One of the most powerful Stoic techniques for overcoming procrastination is negative visualization. This practice involves intentionally imagining the worst-case scenarios, not as a form of pessimism, but as a way to diminish fear and anxiety. By vividly picturing the challenges or negative outcomes that might occur, we're able to reduce their power over us. It helps us prepare mentally for potential difficulties, so we're not paralyzed by the fear of the unknown. Negative visualization works by putting procrastination in perspective. When we procrastinate, we often fear the consequences of taking action, whether it's the fear of failure or the discomfort of the task at hand. But what about the consequences of not acting? Imagine the regret you might feel if you continually put off something important. Missed opportunities, the frustration of unfulfilled potential, or the gnawing sense of guilt. Visualizing these negative outcomes can give us the nudge we need to act. On the flip side, negative visualization also has the power to highlight the positive outcomes of immediate action. When you see the long-term benefits of moving forward, such as a sense of accomplishment, progress, and relief from guilt, it becomes easier to take that first step. By visualizing both the worst and the best possible scenarios, you can shift your focus from fear to empowerment and motivate yourself to take decisive action. Life is full of challenges and obstacles. No one is exempt. But the Stoic perspective teaches us to embrace these difficulties, not as barriers, but as opportunities for growth. Every challenge we face has the potential to strengthen our character, build our resilience, and deepen our wisdom. In fact, it is through facing adversity that we become more capable, more disciplined, and more determined. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, famously said, "It's not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It's because we do not dare that they are difficult." This powerful quote highlights the Stoic belief that we often create our own obstacles by avoiding challenges. If we confront difficulties head on, they lose their power to intimidate. By daring to act, we discover that what once seemed insurmountable becomes manageable. The Stoic mindset encourages us to see challenges not as threats, but as opportunities to test and strengthen our inner resolve. Embracing this approach requires a shift in perspective. Instead of viewing tasks and obstacles as burdens, we can begin to see them as opportunities to build resilience. Every difficult moment, whether it's starting a daunting project or facing a fear of failure, is a chance to cultivate discipline, mental toughness, and perseverance. The process of overcoming difficulties is as important as the outcome itself. Through each experience, we become more resilient, more confident in our ability to handle whatever comes our way. By adopting this Stoic mindset, you start to approach each task with the understanding that challenges are inevitable, but also that you have the strength to rise to the occasion. Instead of shrinking from discomfort or avoiding difficult work, you lean into the process, knowing that every step forward builds not only your skills, but also your character. Resilience isn't something you're born with. It's something you build piece by piece through consistent action and the willingness to face whatever comes your way. The key to transforming procrastination is to shift from inaction to action. Often, the hardest part is simply starting. But once you take that first step, momentum begins to build. Small, consistent actions compound over time, leading to long-term success and personal growth. Each small step is a victory in itself, and when you accumulate enough of these moments, they can turn into major accomplishments. The Stoic philosophy emphasizes the power of incremental progress. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment or ideal conditions, Stoics understand that their act of moving forward, even if it's just a little at a time, is what ultimately leads to success. Stoicism's transformative power goes beyond just helping us tackle specific tasks. It shapes how we approach life and challenges as a whole. The Stoic mindset encourages us to accept that life will always present obstacles and uncertainties. But rather than letting these circumstances stop us, we can embrace them as opportunities for growth. When applied to procrastination, this mindset teaches us that overcoming inaction isn't just about completing tasks. It's about cultivating a way of living with purpose, resilience, and intentionality. Reframing procrastination as a learning opportunity allows us to see the process itself as part of our journey of self-improvement. Every time we choose action over delay, we not only make progress in the task at hand, but also build strength in our character. Procrastination, then, becomes an essential part of our development. It shows us where we need to grow and teaches us how to keep moving forward. It's time to start applying Stoic principles to your life and take control of procrastination. You don't have to wait for the perfect moment to begin. The best time to start is right now. The power of Stoicism lies in its simplicity. By focusing on what you can control and aligning your actions with your values, you can break free from procrastination and create the life you want. Remember, procrastination is a choice, and with Stoic wisdom, anyone can overcome it. It's not about avoiding fear, discomfort, or setbacks. It's about facing them head on and moving forward anyway. So take that first step today and trust that with every action, you're building the discipline and resilience you need to succeed. If you found these Stoic insights helpful, feel free to comment share, and subscribe for more content on how Stoic philosophy can transform your life. Your journey toward overcoming procrastination and living with purpose begins now. Let's take action together.